Tax base has been a very important topic lately. I mean, if you follow politics in Italy, if you follow the news, every now and then there is a news that how many billions of euros the tax collector is required to get back, but they cannot. So from time to time, they basically waive that, or at least they waive the fines. So the regular collection works that if you cannot pay your tax, at some point the tax office will send those credits to the tax collector. And the tax collector goal is to turn that credit into liquid money. And they have several powers. They can freeze your assets, such as your home, your car, they can freeze your bank account, or they can withdraw you from certain tenders, etc., etc. And that works for a company and individuals. However, they have a big problem. The problem is that sometimes they cannot do their job because simply people cannot pay. And that's why from time to time they decide to waive those fees, they waive those extra costs, they waive the extra fines and interest. But this year, with the COVID, I call it the COVID Jubilee, there is a new type of tax piece. Well, in this case, if you make less than 30,000 euros, so if in the past year, in 2020, your income is 30,000 euros or less, and if you are a business, is 50,000 euros or less, and by the way, I'm talking about your gross income, not your net income, and you have any debit at the tax collector of 5,000 euros or more, and they've been sitting there from 2000 to 2010, those will be waived. Not just the fines, not just the penalties, not just the sanctions, but the whole debt. So for instance, if you did not pay VAT, if you did not pay income tax, those are waived. However, there are certain type of credits that cannot be waived. And for instance, if you get government help or if you get road fines, you cannot waive road fines, but any other type of tax or social security contribution or anything that you due to the tax office, it's gone. And by the way, this has to be done automatically. However, you should double check. You should get your digital ID, your SPID, check online and keep checking that because potentially they did not waive that. So in that case, you need to file a request to delete that. And by the way, if they froze those assets because you have those credits, those debits, now you need to waive those freezing. So if they froze your bank account, if they froze your car, if they try to repossess your home as they put a mortgage on that, well, in that case, you need to ask them, hey, please remove that because that debit is no longer due. And by the way, if you also owed money and you had a payment plan for 2020, those has been postponed to November 30th. So the bottom line is check it well because potentially you're not even required to pay. And if you paid in bona fide, you might get your monies back. But in that case, you need to file a request and get the money you paid back. But be vigilant on that because they say that automatically they will waive those, but I would always double check.